See all this red on here? Yeah. I hope you can read it. If you can't, I'm sorry, but we're a little bit overdue. It is. Yeah. It's been what is it? 15 days since the season was over. Over 2 weeks. But in all honesty, this video probably could have been made a month ago and it would have been the same result. But the season ended in happiness, I guess. We won the CBC. We won its first ever one, so that means that maybe the other teams that win this will get more money than us. Ah, and yeah, a good send off to the goats of Bryce Williams and Juwan Gary. Obviously, I give this MVP award to Bryce Williams. In my all honesty, I'm pretty sure the Big Ten, if they had an MVP award, he would be the MVP. Because this man is single-handedly responsible for this team doing anything. Yeah, he has off games. Lots of those games are losses. Some of those are wins. Very rare, though. In most games, he was the one that had to drive the team to victory, which is sad. But anyway, anyhow, so and we can't forget the Diamond Head Classic victory over Oregon State. I mean, hey, they were in the CBC too. That was it. Bryce Williams, Carey, and Pete and Joe actually doing something. But I have another award. Most Improved Player, MIP. Cale Jacobson. Going from not starting anything to starting postseason games is pretty good. He hasn't left yet, and the portal closes tomorrow, I think. Unless that's, oh, wow. Football closes tomorrow. I'm not sure about the basketball, but no, whatever. It's been open for a bit. It closes at some point. I just know that. But I'd just like to point out that in the stretch of November 22nd to January 4th, we won all but one game against number one Michigan, unranked at the time. That was kind of funny. And yet, despite all that momentum, we shat the bed for the entire month of January and then shat the bed at the end of February and early March. And that is how you miss the Big Ten tournament. Losing to Penn State, losing to Minnesota, getting swept by Iowa, and getting swept by Ohio State. Any of those wins, and we would have had a chance at not even playing in the first round. I know. I know. Crazy talk, am I right? But we got teams that went 17 and 16, 15 and 17. They made the Big Ten tournament. We ended the season with 21 wins. Better than Indiana, a team that made it out of didn't even have to play in the first round. Nope. Just nope. Nope. Again, we had some great wins on the year. None of our teams actually made it past the round of 32, to my knowledge. Unless one of these games is slipping out of my mind. I don't think it. Yeah, no, none of them are. We played teams that made it further than the round of 32. We just happened to lose. All of our wins are against teams that went didn't go as far in the tournament. They win around 32. I mean, St. Mary's lost. They also went into the round of 32. I mean, jack shit. Okay. Okay. Cool. Cool. But it's definitely going to be an interesting time after this. If, in my opinion, if Hoiberg does not produce results next season, like if we miss the Big Ten tournament again. In all honesty, if he doesn't win at least one Big Ten tournament game next season, there's going to be some questions as to how long this rebuild is going to be. Because we're sitting here like 5 years past COVID, 5 years past the excuse of not being able to build a team under the circumstances, and yet we have produced one NCAA tournament bid and one postseason tournament win. The CBC. It's tough. It's tough being school, the only Big Ten school, the only Power Five school to not have won a single tournament game. And a good chunk of other schools have done it. Schools with way less funding, schools with way less enthusiasm towards basketball, schools that could not give a single shit about their basketball team have won tournament games in the NCAA. Maybe old, but they still have won it. It's troubling, of course, to have watched this team for over a decade do jack shit. And in the amount of years I have completely paid attention, they've done, well, jack shit. Was keeping Tim Miles the correct answer? No, it never really was. He was also in that same situation where we were getting nowhere. But the thing about Hoiberg is that he was supposed to, I guess we were meant to tank for a year or two, considering that all the recruits were either going to leave, had left, or were just not great and didn't trust the coach. I'm not sure, but there's something to be said where we can't write off the momentum of literally having one of the best trios in all of basketball to not even win a single fucking game. And that was made worse by the fact that we lost to our former athletic director. And now this year we can hold the paper trophy, the paper crown, if you will, the CBC, and think to ourselves, yeah, it ended well. Now what? Because the trophy doesn't matter. None of the teams that were in it, trophy didn't really matter for them. Unless it was George Washington winning it. Then that would have been funny, but it didn't happen. They lost in the first round. It's it's just another season of wandering in the desert of no wins and wondering when the fuck is this going to end? Because in all honesty, it should have probably ended already. There have been many times in Nebraska's, like, in its entire history in which it could have won a tournament game. The amount of times that they have been close. They've won the NIT before. Winning the NIT usually means that you could probably get out of the first round, in my opinion. And it's not like Nebraska isn't a basketball state. There's many there's many high school recruits that do give a shit about basketball in state. That's where we got some of them after all. But somehow and it's not even like it's for both men's and women's. Nobody really remembers it, but Nebraska women's at one point had a perfect regular season in the NCAA tournament era. They didn't win their own conference tournament. That's why I had to say perfect regular season. They kind of flubbed that, and then only went to the Sweet 16 and lost there. by far the best season of all time in terms of Nebraska basketball in general. And I do believe that the men's team can actually produce good results. They show it. These wins show that this team can actually win games that are of opponents that do make and win NCAA tournament games. Yet it is the losses of getting swept by Iowa. One of those fucking wins could have resulted in at least making the NCAA tournament. Literally one of those flipped. Beating Penn State, who's ranked lower than us. Beating Minnesota, who's on the same tier. Losing to Ohio State twice. Well, once. We did beat them once, but that doesn't really fucking matter. Losing in double overtime to them. Getting swept by Iowa. Pissing it away against Rutgers at home when they're not good. I can't fault them for losing to Michigan State. They were the best team in the Big Ten. Pissing it away against Maryland, pissing it away against USC. Like, there's so many of these teams that we face that were the reason why we were kicked out is because we lost to all the teams that we were tied with. Do you know how fucking insane that is? To beat a team like UCLA, to beat a team like Illinois, Oregon, to beat Creighton. If Creighton wasn't getting the job, like, of being the 8th seed that had to kick out a certain team, it's not like once again, I may say, Northwestern did not have that great of a Big Ten regular season, like a Big Ten season. Like they only had one ranked win, and that was against Illinois. And oh boy, we beat Illinois too. Yeah, they made the Big Ten tournament. They did. Sure shit, we didn't. Iowa was practically like their fans were practically begging for their season to fucking end because they did not want to see any more Fran ball and they just wanted to get the fuck out. And honestly, Iowa is definitely even worse of the case because they don't have a single ranked win on the year. A single one. We have four. We have four ranked wins on the year. That's zero. And because we fucked up, nope, can't make there. USC ended the season like losing 6 of 7, and they still made it because of stupid tiebreakers. Yeah, they beat Michigan State, all right, in Illinois. So I guess they have that on us. But again, in a common opponent, USC only scored 36 points against St. Mary's. Woo, okay, all right, we'll just ignore that for now. We had finished with a worse record and a worse overall postseason shenanigans than Rutgers. Rutgers has talent, but they kind of shot themselves by just not playing well, like all season. They beat UCLA after we unranked them, so I guess give them a point for that. But, but it just they had a better record than us. There's so many of this wasted fucking opportunities that would have at least given us a a chance, for goodness sake, to win a NCAA tournament game. And to be honest, at this point, every season has to be a go for that or bust at this point. There is nothing that can tell me there's nothing that you can say to me that we need to rebuild. In this day and age, we can spend money and drop a couple $1 million on this. We're gonna get like a good chunk of money from the house settlement. There is a good chunk of money that could be just thrown into this team, and suddenly we can start being good. Is it really that hard? to figure out what to do with this. My patience has been tested with this man. I've met, well, with Nebraska athletics in general. I figured this would be the season to get the win. Even if we didn't have Tominaga, even if our recruits didn't do as great as we thought. I'm looking at you, Mia, with your 3 points a game. I think I might have been lying on that, but let me look. Let me check. Check. Yeah, 3 points a game from Braxton Mia. Mind you, in his 2023 season, he averaged 5.3, and that was only with 3 minutes more a game. I don't. Like, they fucked it. They fucked it so much that it just doesn't. I don't. It's just painful, man. You can't just end a season with a dub and be like, all right, this program is totally fun. It's not. The tournament was supposed to be just a fun week of, just holding on to the memories of, hey, this guy did something. And that's it. We need results next year. We need something that it make it like gets a good Big Ten tournament run and puts us in a position to actually beat an opponent. I'm now starting to recollect things now. We were once a 3 seed and lost. Yeah, we got upset by a 14 seed. You may have never heard of the school. I think it was Xavier. I'm not sure. Small school from a small conference. I'm not sure if you ever heard of them, but we lost to that. We lost to that. Back in our heyday, back when we were actually good. Again, point out we have had chances. And I think at this point, the chance is going to be this year. And if it does not happen, Hoiberg has to go and we have to change something. Because as of right now, we're rolling into the season with the coach's son is one of our big name dudes. Yeah, we recruited a couple of people. I've already forgotten their names and I'm going to only remember them in November. We have players. At this point, we're going to be starting both Jacobson and Hoiberg when it comes to March 6th. Sorry, December, no, November 6th. When it comes to that time, there's a good chance that we are starting those men. Is that really what is the talent? No. But there's just so much opportunity that we could have at getting players, and yet we're not doing shit. We are instead just you're not thinking of it. I don't know. Just the memes, the jokes, the dog shit just needs to not exist. Just get over the hump at this point. We aren't asking for much. We're asking for something that almost like 100 teams have done in the history of the NCAA tournament, which is win one game. I'm not sure if 100 is actually entirely accurate, but there's some wild ass names from back then. Like you got Division 2, Division 3 schools that are popping up with quarterfinal, semifinal performances in NCAA Division 1 tournaments. That just got too. NCAA just got too big for them. Even if it was a playing game, even if it was getting the 11th seed and just barely squeaking in with a play-in and getting that win, it'd still be a fucking win at this point. But at this rate, they aren't even going to get close to that. Yeah, hopefully next year will be better. Hopefully next year we'll have more than 17 wins, the amount of wins that we had at the end of the regular season. Hopefully, we get an actual 500 conference record because, again, this was a regression from last year. I mean, we had a really great Big Ten record last year, and somehow we got worse despite only losing one player. I don't, I don't get it. I just don't get it. I just wish this team went even better. If anything, for my mental health, 12-8. We had the season 12-8. 12-8, and that was good for tie for third place in the Big Ten. Granted, the Big Ten was very weak, in which we had two ranked teams and jack shit elsewhere. A lot of the better teams falling off pretty badly, but we still had 23 wins that year. 23. 2023. I just hopefully next year will be better. Anyhow, can I speak? The NFL draft is going to be turning up on Thursday. I didn't realize how close it was. Time has gone fast for me, and probably why I haven't uploaded in so long. But I'll see you then. I don't know if I'll do a live reaction. Uh, I might do it. I don't know how the streaming setup here is going to work because yeah, let's be honest here. I don't know how that is going to transpire, but I might do it. I'm going to be. Am I going to be alone on Thursday? I might. Yeah, I'm just looking at it because I never really. Oh no, I will definitely. Yeah, I might be able to do live reaction to all the stuff because why not? I guess it's gonna be very annoying though. I'll have to hold this like right next to me and talk a lot. Yeah, I'll see you then. If I don't do live stream, I just do recordings of it. But whatever. Yep. Goodbye.